7:07. I'd like to call the meeting to order. We need a motion to adopt the agenda unless there are additions. If you will allow, it's not the norm to add items to the agenda, but with your permission, I would like to have two. Under correspondence, under 9.4, Amy Paradis, Clare for the holidays, 2023, and under new business, 12.8, the new president of the Acadian Federation. Are you in agreement with these additions? Does anybody wish to move the adoption of the agenda? Moved by Councillor DeVoe, seconded by Councillor Godet. All those in favor? Against? Motion is carried. We go on to item 3, declaration of conflict of interest. Does anybody have any conflict of interest this evening? No. Number 4, presentations. We have none this evening, so we are up to item 5, adoption of minutes. 5.1, October 18th, the regular council meeting. Are there any errors or omissions? Does anybody wish to move the adoption? Councillor Godet, seconded by Conseiller Comon. All those in favor? Against? Motion carried. 5.2, November 1st, 2023, the committee and council and committee meeting. Are there any errors or omissions in these minutes? If not, does anybody wish to move? Deputy Warden Poitier, seconded by Councillor DeVoe. All those in favor? Against? Motion is carried. 6, business arising from previous council meetings. We have nothing under this item, so we are at item 7, the warden's activities. And it's not very busy, but on September 29th, I attended to the meeting of the audit committee for CDNA, Economic Development. October 7th, it was the meeting of the of the board of the CDNA. On October 17th, I attended to a special meeting of the CDNA, Economic Development, and on October 18th, I attended to the launch of Équipe Acadie. It's a linking meeting sponsored by the Federation, Acadian Federation, in order to allow the ministers and deputy ministers to meet certain important people of the Acadian community of Nova Scotia. We met the ministers and discussed the mandates and to see if we had the provincial support of certain projects. On October 24th, I attended to the regular meeting of the Villa Acadienne. On October 25th, we traveled to Halifax. The CEO and myself, we went to pick up original paintings of Nelson Surette, who gave to the municipality, given by the family, and we have pictures that we would like to have the community to see in the future. And I had an interview with the CFA radio to see where the health building is coming on, and to see that everything in the area, everyone in the area could have a doctor in the area. So from this November of 7th to the 10th, we attended the NSFM conference with Councillor DeVoe and Neil Doucette. It was a lot of information during all week with workshops. On November 9th, I attended to the ceremony of the Remembrance Day with Councillor Carl DeVoe, and Philip Godet was there also at the Veterans Center. We were there. It was nice but cold, but the sun came out a bit. And that is my report. Do you have any questions on these items? Councillor Godet, did you find somebody to look at the frames for the paintings? Jeanette, our Director of Finance, is in communication with someone in Halifax who does that, who is qualified. We did not find anybody locally, but after consulting certain artists from the area, this name was referred to us, so we contacted him. That's why we are now just in discussion. He did not come down to look at the paintings, but at least we found someone that I think who can do the work and who is interested. We don't have any price yet, cost. Any other questions on the report? If not, we are at item 8, official statements of the members of council. Councilor Comeau. I would like to congratulate Louise Deveau from St. Alphonse, who celebrated her 100th birthday on November 11th. And she is an avid bowler. She still bowls at 100 years old, and that's good. I think she is there at least twice a week. Her numbers, her scores are a lot better than mine. I don't know if we should send her a certificate. Yes, I would like to make the motion to send her a certificate. Thank you. Moved by Councillor Comeau, seconded by Deputy Warden Potier. All those in favor? Against? Motion is carried. Any other presentations? It's funny that you talk about bowling, but I would like to congratulate Nathan LeBlanc. He is part of a team. He has been bowling for a long time. With Nova Scotia and New Brunswick makes teams together, and they work again. They play against New England, and his team took 5 times this year, and Nathan bowled the high average of the tournament. He was the best of the whole team, and there were 24 teams who worked in that tournament. So I'd like to congratulate Nathan. It's not the only one of Clare, but somebody else who lives in New Ross who bowls also, but we could send him a letter of congratulations for bowling the high average in bowling. Thank you. Do you all agree to send a letter? Yes. Any other official presentation? Councillor Deveau? Thank you. Mr. Warden. In 1953, a young man named Philippe Leblanc from Clare packed his suitcases and moved to Halifax to take a course in diesel engineering repair. He took the course and stayed in Halifax about 20 years, working with a lot of companies in that domain. And after 20 years, he came back to the area and he established the Philippe Leblanc Diesel Repairs, which is located in Comeauville. And after 50 years, the company is still going as Philippe Leblanc Diesel Repair again in Comeauville, the same building, and he added to the buildings. It is at the same spot. His son, Danny Leblanc, who is now CEO, who manages the company, and he has been there for 40 years with the company of his father. And I would like to congratulate them and send them a certificate to thank them for their 50 years of service in our area. And again, wish them a lot of success for another 50 years. If it's in agreement with council, I would like to present the certificate myself if it's possible. Thank you. Do you all agree to send a certificate? There's no doubt that a lot of people in the area depend on their services. Any other official presentations?
If not, that brings us to number 9, correspondence. The Honourable Tim Houston, Premier of Nova Scotia.
healthcare in their communities. I wanted to write you to let you know that there is now a one-stop shop to book services, find access to care, and get information easier and faster. There's an app for that. Yesterday, our government launched the Your Health Nova Scotia app. Your Health Nova Scotia is a game changer for accessing healthcare and finding information. Key features of Your Health Nova Scotia include a search tool to find and book the nearest health services, the option to chat with a care navigator to help find the best service or information needed, and, if appropriate, direct people to a virtual care visit. The ability to book blood tests, x-rays, flu shots, and EKG appointments. A home screen that can be personalized with information most important to the individual. Predicted emergency department wait times, access to vaccination records, access to free same-day virtual care. I would encourage you to download the app and to share it with your constituents so that everyone can have access to this tool that will help deliver healthcare faster. You can install it right now by visiting the Apple Store, and the address is here. I won't read the address out because it's fairly long, or the Google Play Store. Yours truly, the Honourable Tim Houston, MLA, Premier of Nova Scotia.
Est-ce que vous avez des questions, des commentaires sur ce tool-là?
Have questions or comments on this one? This has come out last week, and I think there's a lot of publicity it's been giving, and I think it will be more handy for people, and it's a step in the right direction. 9.2, the Honourable John Law, Minister of Municipal Affairs. Thank you.
I am pleased to inform you that a direct deposit in the amount of $3,242.19 will be made to your municipal account from the 911 Cost Recovery Fund. As in past years, the purpose of this funding is to provide for the recovery of the incremental costs associated with the administration of civic addressing programs at the municipal level. I want to take this opportunity to express my thanks to you and your staff for the excellent support provided to the Nova Scotia 911 system, without which we could not continue to deliver the very high caliber of service that Nova Scotians have come to expect. Should you have any questions, please contact David Wilson, Director, Provincial 911 Emergency Management Office, toll-free at 1-866-424-5620. Sincerely, the Honourable John Law, Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing.
Questions or comments on this letter? It's always nice to have letters with an amount of money attached to it. This brings us 9.4 is 9.3. The Honourable Tim Houston, Premier of Nova Scotia.
I wanted to reach out following very productive meetings in Ottawa last week with Minister Wilkinson, Minister Fraser, and Minister LeBlanc around the future of energy security in Nova Scotia. I am excited about the potential for our province in renewable energy. This starts with ensuring reliable, affordable, and clean energy for our future. With both on and offshore, wind, both on and offshore, is an important part of our future. We need wind to help us ensure reliable energy service sources at affordable rates for Nova Scotians. We also need wind to reach our 2030 targets. I know these are goals you share. This morning, I participated in a roundtable discussion with the Minister of Environment and Climate Change to reiterate the opportunities in renewable energy. Nova Scotia has the potential to become a worldwide energy powerhouse. Not only is this good for the environment, but it is a positive step for more reliable and affordable energy. Earlier this month, our government released our Clean Energy Plan. This plan demonstrates our path for energy security for our future. This plan relies heavily on one of our best assets, our wind. I am pleased to attach that plan for your review. I am hopeful municipalities across the province will join me in my excitement and optimism for our wind sector. If you have any questions about our plan, please reach out to our team and we would be happy to walk you through the plan. Yours truly, the Honourable Tim Houston, Premier of Nova Scotia.
The questions or comments on this letter? something we have a lot of wind here too, so we can tap in our wind, that would be okay also. For now, 9.4, Amy Paradis, Clare for the holidays. Thank you.
Clare for the holidays meal that we're preparing for December 24th. In reading, excuse me, our group was very lucky to have free access to a kitchen and dining area last year thanks to the municipality's generous donation of the Clare Veterans Center. Since circumstances are a little different this year, we will be hosting the meal at the Sonyville Parish Hall. Therefore, we are reaching out to the municipality to ask whether you might be in the capacity to help in any other way this year. Some possibility include in-kind use of the municipality's printing facilities for posters and placemats, monetary contribution, i.e. to sponsor a few turkeys to help with food costs, monetary contribution to help with promotional costs such as advertisements in local papers, and volunteer time from staff and or council. Chef Shane Robichaud has big plans to serve 500 meals to folks on site and via delivery or takeout, so any help from community stakeholders would be mightily appreciated. Thanks in advance for taking our request into consideration. Best regards, Amy Paradis.
So I see that the intention is to advise the council and the public that's interested in do a bit of volunteering for this event, because it was a big success last year and they hope to repeat it this year, even make it larger than last year. As far as photocopies and that, there's no problem. It's something that we do with diverse groups in the community, and I already told her this would be available. It is much appreciated. I don't know, as far as monetary contribution, if it's something you want to discuss more at length at the next meeting, and also if you want to do some voluntary work, we'd like to hear from you. And also, if you want to make a monetary contribution, if you want to discuss it this evening, Councillor Como, regarding the volunteer work, I'd be ready to discuss how we can discuss our time this evening, but as far as a monetary contribution, I think we should discuss that more in detail, because it could be something that might be coming up every year, and also there might be other organizations that will be giving some monetary support to this, so I think it needs more discussion at our next meeting. I support the project and the activity. I think it's a very good idea and it's good for the community. But for the contribution, I think we should discuss it more in detail at our next meeting. Thank you. Is there anybody else who have meetings? I think it makes sense that we have to discuss it. Deputy on Patier, just for information purposes, the Lions are doing community dinner every month, once a month, and I was talking to the people who are involved, and there are about 250 people that they are feeding every month. So these people is also doing a lot of work, and there are contributions coming from the area, but it's a good work that they're doing, and it's appreciated, because go there to eat and listen to music, and you can do takeout also. There's no doubt that the groups are making a lot of efforts to bring people together, and it's a bit aggressive, 500 plates, but I'm confident that Wayne and Shane and his crew can do this, so I think we could do that, address this. And the monetary discussion will be discussed at the next meeting. This continues here? No? Unless you have other questions, we're at number 10, the report of this Director General, Monsieur Cyr.
Thank you. A little update on the medical center of Clare. Clare Health Center The steel arrived on the site on October 23rd, and it didn't take long to install. And the framing was completed on November 9th, on November 3rd. On the second floor, concrete cement slab were poured on November 9th, and the roof decking is completed. Interior, there is still some framing and drywall. The work is continuing. The steel studs are planned to begin next week. They will start this week, and that's is a process. Once it's started, it goes pretty fast. In terms of the budget, we are still in a good fiscal shape. We had predicted some contingency plans in the plan, and it's still in good health. For the Clare Veterans Center, as you know, we had a tender issued July 19th. The tender closed on August 23rd, but we only had one tender, which was a lot of what we had budgeted. And unfortunately, we decided to not receive it. We are presently in discussion with the project managers to look at the design proposed for the building and other alternatives that we can explore to determine a better way to go forward. We are also looking at the possibility of additional funding, specifically with ACOA and Employment and Social Development Canada, which is another potential source, and we are currently looking at it. And we are looking at the renovations, and the redesign is a big focus on the accessibility for all our residents. And for the accessibility fund, we are still looking at the program to learn more. As for ACOA, we submitted our one-pager, and the concept paper has already been accepted by ACOA. So essentially that allows us to go forward with an official request for fund. And we hope to submit it to them, I hope, early next week or mid next week. For the Mitagan sidewalks, as you know, the design has been approved by the province. We received the permit to start the work, and we are looking at the tender package with the engineers. And we are also, or I am working on an application for a new program with the province, the Capital Growth Program, and the deadline to submit a project is December 13th. So it's an opportunity to work on the plan that we have with the province. The deadline for the project is that we want to call out the tenders this fall, so we can go forward in the spring. For the sewer system in Mitagan on Sunset Road, we have spoken with the engineers and the manager. Presently, we are waiting for a revised plan for the site from the developer, and that will allow us to finalize the design for the new sewer system or the extension that will allow us to prepare the tender call. In terms of deadlines, our goal again is to go to tender early this winter. When I say early December, I'm looking at December the 20th or in January, so we can start the project in the spring of 2024. For the Wentworth Park, this project is advancing well. The cement have been poured. All the earthwork is complete. The equipment for the playground has been received and installed, so the remaining items to finalize is a picnic shelter to be done, a stargazing bench, And the last item is the installation of the small building for washrooms. So JD Compost has already decided, worked on this, and the contractors who are responsible for that work were on site this week, and they say that everything should be completed within 2 weeks. So we hope to complete this project by the end of the month. Clare and Argyle Tourism Development Project, that's the signage, interpretive signage with the municipality of Argyle and the town of Yarmouth, or the municipality of Yarmouth. There again, the project is going forward. It's on schedule, and we came out with a press release in 2023, which was well received on November 10th. The vignettes are currently the priority. We are doing the videography and that will be done in the fall. There will be 38 vignettes, and we need to write a script for each one. So there will be 13 in Clare, 14 in Argyle, and 4 in Yarmouth. And there are 9 of 17 scripts for Clare are complete, and we have the drafts that we are finalizing, and we are in the process of selecting people to read these scripts for each region, and our intention is to have it filmed in January or February 2024. The goal is to have it completed by summer 2024 for the Acadian Congress. For the track and field project, as you know, there has been delays there with cost overruns. The university and the contractor have settled on $100,000 to complete the project. The original contractor quote was substantially higher. The municipality, with discussion with the university, has agreed to cover 50% of these additional costs for a maximum of $50,000. So we are told that the work is slated to restart soon, and that we will receive a new construction schedule shortly. I had a discussion with the vice president of the university, and she will send us a revised schedule as soon as she has it. For the new Hector-Nuga Fire Department Fire Hall, the truck bays are complete. The comfort center is roughly 95% complete. The new fridge, the range, and hood have been purchased. And for this project, all that remains is the countertop for the kitchen and the sink and the security cameras to be installed. So we are thinking that everything can be done within a week. It should be done in one day if the material is on site. There is a provincial program that we are waiting for that could finance up to 80% for the generator. We are looking at almost daily to see when that program will be launched, because it is something that fits well with this project. So we hope to succeed with that. The anticipated completion is also between now and the end of the month.
For the cultural hub, there are 4 heat pumps have been installed on the first floor, and the installation of the larger commercial unit for the second floor is underway. It's the biggest unit, it's a commercial unit for the upper level, and it's being done now. And so I hope that in the next few weeks that all this work will be completed. Also, we have to do ducting for the second level, so it takes more time. We had discussed also for a fire service review for the community. This would be based on a discussion that was held at a few I am not very advanced yet, but I think that we are developing a tender that was launched earlier by the municipality of Annapolis. They got in the same type of exercise that we are considering at the present time. So when the tender will be complete, I will circulate a copy to you members of council for revision, and we will also circulate it, a copy to the executive of the CDB to assure that we have we want to assure that all the partners around the table are agreed with what we want to accomplish. Financially, as of October 31st, the municipality recorded $10,491,899 in revenues versus $7,593,649 in expenses, for a operational surplus of $2,898,250. As of October 31st, 2023, the municipality had a balance of $4,077,391 in its operating fund, $610,952 in its capital fund, and a total reserve balance of $3,662,921. The total reserve balance, the $3.6 billion, is in the operation reserve. There is $2,452,105, and capital reserve $207,873. Landfill closure reserve $353,475, and the Gas Canada Community Building Tax, like the gas tax reserve, is $649,468, and this is my report. Thank you, Mr. Sear, for this long, detailed report. Are there any questions or comments? Councillor Como. It's not a question on the report, but we discussed 9.5. The presidents of the fund. It's 12.8. It's item 12.8. Anybody else have questions or comments? Okay, this brings us to number 11, committee report, building permits. Councillor Dusa. Before we start the committee report, I just noticed that we had a meeting yesterday of Waste Check, and I don't know if I can do the report at the next meeting, but it's probably too late now to add it to the agenda. Is there something that's pressing? I think if not, we can add it to the next meeting, if everybody agrees with this. So we go with Councillor Dusa for the building permits report for the building permits for October. There were 18 permits that were issued. It's a total of 519,000 compared to 2020, when there was 2017,000, 334,000. The total up to 2022, there was 13,936,000 compared to the 6,657,000. So we're about $3 million more in building permits this year, because there's a lot of construction that's being done in Clare. Thank you. Are there any questions or comments on this report? Building permits report. If not, we are on number 2, new business, 12.2, a motion to increase funding for track and field lighting project. The council had done a motion to add something, as I said in my report. The contractors, in consultation with the engineers, had to revise, to reconsider the way they're installing the posts to put the lights, and the method they must use now is more expensive than the first one. The university has approached different contractors, had different tenders for pricing, but the lowest one at the time was around $162,000. In discussing with the contractors and the university, they succeeded in agree with an amount of $900,000. And consultation, our municipality was always involved in this project. It was a partnership with the university. So the discussion a few weeks ago around the table here was a project that's important not only for the university but also for the community of Clare that uses it. And since we have worked with them up to now, it's kind of hard now since we're so near the end that it would be not still to see. So the recommendation would be to approve 50% of the additional expenses, or up to a maximum of 52,000, and this is my recommendation this evening. If you're ready to do the motion, yeah. So, are there any questions or comments on this one? If not, is there somebody ready to do the motion? Councillor Goddard. I move that the Council for the Municipality of the District of Clare increase its contribution to the track and field lighting project from 300,000 to 350,000 to allow for the purchase and installation of lighting for the field, and that these funds be taken from the municipality's Canada Community Building Fund Reserve. Proposed by Councillor Goddard, seconded by Conseiller Como. All those in favour? Against? Motion carried. 12.2, motion to award snow removal from sidewalks, salting and or sanding. Our contract to snow removal was a 5-year contract, and this contract, our last contract, is finished at the end of October this year. So we have sent a new tender, put out a new tender to invite companies that are interested to do this work to submit their tender. When the tender closed, we only had one submission. It was our actual person with Spec Resources. The amount that they submitted was $49,500 plus TVH for the first year. And the way the contract is done, it will go by 5% each year for the next 5 years. The service that we have received with the last contract with Spec Resources was very good. We have very few complaints from the public, and those that were received were very well handled by Spec, and their the amount they tendered for was what we had. So it is my recommendation that we accept their tender for the new contract, which will be from 2023 to 2028. Questions or comment on this? So, Deputy Gordon Potier. Let us take into consideration that we planned the sidewalks in Meteghan, to do the planned sidewalks in Meteghan. Presently not, but it will not impact us this year. The way the contract is submitted, it's built on this the amount of kilometers that we have on our actual sidewalks. But next year, when we do the renovation of about 2 kilometers and we add a third kilometer, there will be an amendment that will have to be done next year, but it doesn't touch the amount of the 40,000 for this year. I move that the Council for the Municipality of the District of Clare award the tender for snow removal from sidewalks, salting and or sanding to Spec Resources Inc. in the amount of $49,500 plus HTS for a 5-year contract, 2023 to 2028, with the price increasing 5% per year over the previous year's amount. Proposed by Deputy Warden Potier, seconded by Councillor Comeau. Motion carried.
I hope that they won't have to go out this winter. 12.3, a motion to approve the funding for the transmitter building for CIFA Radio. The director of Radio CIFA communicated with me and Mr. Alain Muse, who is CEO of the municipality of Argyle, regarding their transmitter building, which is in Wellington. The building in question has a lot of equipment belonging to CIFA, and the roof is finished. It is rotten. It's time to replace the roof. It's not a big building. It's not a complicated job. It's not something that we or they had planned to do this year, but based on the photos, it has to be done now. So the director of CIFA found some quotes for the building material, and volunteers are ready to do the work for her. So essentially, we are looking at a job of about a few $1,000s based on the estimates we have so far. But the discussion I had with Mr. Muse of Argyle is that we agree, given the importance of the community radio to both Clare and Argyle communities, that we share the cost. It is a community radio. They don't have a lot of financing for projects like this, but because of the importance of this radio, we asked our councils to make a motion to cover 50% up to the amount, a maximum of $2,000 per municipality in case there is some unplanned cost. We don't think it will cost $4,000. We don't know if there is other rotten wood apart from the shingles, but my recommendation would be that we make a motion to replace the roof for an amount of 50% of the cost to a maximum of $2,000 per municipality. Questions or comment on this item? Councillor DeVoe? I would like to make the motion. I move that the Council for the Municipality of the District of Clare approve the funding request for a 50% contribution towards the cost of a new roof for the transmitter building of Radio CIFA up to a maximum of $2,000, and that these funds be taken from the municipality for grants to organizations funding 2023-24. Moved by Councillor DeVoe, seconded by Councillor Doucette. All those in favor? Against? Motion is carried. So we are up to 12.4, a motion to send a letter to the Nova Scotia Department of Public Works. There is a section of 2nd Division Road between the Soniaville Road and the Mazur Road, which is now a dirt road, which is very well traveled, and we are thinking that it's a good candidate for chipping sealing, and hope that the Nova Scotia Department of Public Works can take a active participation in the project, and they could look at the count of the traffic that goes on that road. So we would like to send a formal letter to the Nova Scotia Public Works Department for the regional manager, Pamela Shand, to start the process. There is a lot of work that has been done on the road. I think last year they had their gravel road program, and we would like that work to continue. It is a nice road. It would be a good candidate for chip seal or pave, But to continue this process, we need to send a letter. We would start with the letter and include our provincial deputy with a copy of the letter, at least to start this discussion. Questions or comments on this? Councillor DeVoe. Thank you, Mr. Warden. I move that the council for the municipality of the District of Clare send a letter to the Public Works Minister requesting a review of the unpaved section of Second Division Road between Sonyville Road and Meza Road be conducted in preparation for future chip sealing or paving in the future. Moved by Councillor DeVoe, seconded by Conseiller Comeau. All those in favor? Against? Motion is carried. 12.5, the evaluation of the housing department. As you know, about 2 years ago, the municipality was innovative in this approach. We had an action plan for the municipality because we saw that there was a need in our community for housing for people who have small wages or for the seniors. According to the discussions that we had, our study showed that there was a lot of need for housing in the area. After our plan of action, the municipality evaluated the housing of all the municipalities of Clare, of the province, including Clare, and in the last month we had a chance to take part in the consultations of that plan, to be part of a focus group. The reason why I have it on the discussion for tonight is I am worried by the content of the plan. It says that there is no need for housing in Clare and that we will have a surplus of housing at the end of 2023. The reason why I'm worried is because we are working with developers presently to try to create new housing in the municipalities. And if these developers approach the province for funding projects, the province could look at that report and say that according to this report, there is no need for housing in Clare. But we all know that the need is there. But again, to start a discussion with the province, my recommendation for your consideration is that we write a letter to the department to underline our questions regarding their evaluation, but also our worries regarding the use of this document that could be used to prevent the development, but it could be slow the work if the developers approach the province for support. But I would like to have a discussion with these worries, and we would like to challenge this report. But to do this, if you agree, I would like to send a letter on behalf of the council to indicate our concerns and to start this discussion. I can't see that the problems that have been noted in our report has not been noted in the last year, but at the end of the day, it was clear that they did not use the report to build. I don't know if they will say the same thing when we get there and say that they cannot use this report. But if you have any questions or comments on this? If not, does anybody wish to make the motion to send a letter?
Conseiller Comeau. I move that the Council for the Municipality of the District of Clare send a letter to the Federal Minister of Transport, the Honourable Pablo Rodriguez, outlining its concern with the proposed deployment of the proposed by Councillor Como and seconded by Councillor Gada. Mr. Pueblo. Motion carried. So with 12.6, Acadian Cemetery and Chapel at Puerto I don't know if you have, when we first proposed this for the Joseph Marie de God Bellevosco, we had included in this work that would be done at the chapel at the ancient cemetery on Major's Point. Working on this project, we had seen that it was easier to advance it when we had the criteria financing that we were working with, that it was only on Bellevosco, so we had essentially promised to the Historical Society that we were concentrate on the Joseph and Marie de Graaf, and then we'd come back with the chapel when there would be, in a later time, when there would be a program that would be launched that would fit very well with this project. The program that we had seen at that point was a Sustainably Community Challenge Fund that would aid to stop climate change effects. The major point, one of the big problems there is the storm surge, and oftentimes it is inundated during fall and winter. There is work to be done in this respect, and the Sustainable Community Challenge Fund have just launched the second round, so we met the group met us to come and discuss this. We had already essentially found the information for the project. So the way the program works, there's a pre-screening that's done, and then the limit for this, the pre-screening was on the 14th of November, and the limit to submit when you process screening would be on the 28th of November. Since we did not want to miss the pre-screening, we submitted a short document around 200 words. So the pre-screening has been accepted. They evaluated it and they gave us a go-ahead to submit something for the 28th. It will finance 80% of the project. The project proposed seems to meet the criteria of the program, and so we essentially what I'd like to have to pursue this grant proposal before the 28th of November. It will not be the municipality that will be asking this, but it would be the Société Historique of Clare that would be the people who are presented. So we would be sustaining their grant proposal. So it would be the municipality will present it on the name of the Historical Society. So I think this is important because it has a cultural importance for the community. The CMA that's coming up, and even after the CMA, if we can do things to try to preserve heritage funds like this one, I think it is a good thing. So for information regarding the council, I'm not looking for a motion, but I hope to pursue these discussions to advance the project. There's no guarantee that will be approved, but at least we want to submit this if you agree with us. Any questions or comments on this project? So I think it lines up well with what we're trying to accomplish. 12.7, redeployment of Digby St. John Ferry. St. John. You probably saw in the media recently that there are discussions to the possibility to change the ferry St. John. Every spring the boat is taken off its run for annual work done on the ship. Now they're discussing at the financial level by Transport Canada that maybe this boat, when it finishes its dry dock this year, rather than come back to Digby St. John, should be sent to Prince Edward Island to do the run between PEI and Magdalen Islands. The worry in the timing of this is a time that is critical for the lobster industry and to get lobster to the markets. If this boat is not here, essentially the company's trucking has to go through Amherst and New Brunswick. It's there's more expenses for them to have regarding gas and so discussing with the colleagues here in the Southwest many municipalities have worried about voiced from diverse groups in the province. There's Nova Scotia Seafood Alliances has pronounced themselves against the potential redeployment of the ship. The Armagh County Chamber of Commerce has also written a letter, and other municipalities are doing the same. I have an email from the mayor, Ben Cleveland. If you allow me, I will read to you.
Battle to maintain their connection with the USA, we are, although for an undetermined length of time, facing the possibility of losing our connection to St. John, New Brunswick. It has been reported that the Fundy Rose will be going into dry dock next spring, but once it comes back into service, it will be redeployed to the PI to Île-de-la-Madeleine run. This would happen just as our local fisheries will be shipping seafood products to the U.S. markets, along with the effect of tourism in Southwest Nova. As one transportation firm stated, it would add 7 hours driving time, and with the new electronic monitoring of their drivers, they would be required to stop for a 10-hour layover before making Boston, or if possible, put another driver in the cab, if you can find drivers, and which then becomes cost prohibitive. I would ask for your support by emailing the minister requesting that this does not happen, and the federal government find another solution for our neighbors on the Île-de-la-Madeleine. The minister's contact information is below. It is it's the Honorable Pablo Rodriguez. Sincerely, Ben Cleveland. Alors, encore.
So, discussing with our colleagues in other municipalities, I know that in the past, for all the crisis in the fishing industry, we have written letters in common. So we're trying to have all the municipalities to write to write to the Minister Rodriguez, and this letter would simply be expressing our concerns and our opposition to redeploy this ferry from Digby, St. John to PEI and Île-de-la-Madeleine. Do you have any questions or comments on this book? There is no doubt that it would be a burden on the industry of the lobster shipping. So, I move that the Council for the Municipality of the District of Clare send a letter to the Federal Minister of Transport, the Honorable Pablo Rodriguez, outlining its concerns with the proposed redeployment of the Digby St. John ferry. Proposed by Deputy Warden Potier. Seconded by Councillor Dousa. All those in favour? Against? Motion carried. This gives out 12.8, the new president of the fund. This is, I had this at the last minute, our communication. Mrs. Denise Commodes Hotel has been elected as president of the fund. Kenneth DeVoe has finished his 3-year mandate, and Madame Commodes Hotel will replace him. And we all know her, and she's very involved in the community. More recently, with the revitalization of the Bangor Mill, So I think regarding this, that she has been elected to the presidency of the FAN. The FAN has been an important ally for the council in many different dossiers. I think it would be a good for us as a council to congratulate Madame Comodes Hotel for her nomination. I would like to make a motion. If somebody wants to make the motion, is there anybody who make this motion? Councillor Como. I move that the Council for the Municipality of the District of Clare send a letter to Ms. Denise Comodes Hotel congratulating her on having recently been appointed as the new president of the Fédération Acadienne de la Nouvelle-Écosse. Proposed by Councillor Como, seconded by Councillor Deveau. All those in favour? Against? Motion carried. This brings us to number 10. There's one item which is contract negotiations. Before we go, for the people who are listening to us, the date and time of the next meeting will be Wednesday on the 20th of December. Good evening, everybody. We need a motion to go on closed session. All those in favour? Motion carried. Good evening.